Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Roseline. I hope you all are well. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you about the cost of living in South Africa. Is it affordable to live in South Africa? How affordable is it to live in South Africa? So if you are planning on relocating to the Republic of South Africa, either as a student or, in whatever capacity, I'm sure that you will find this video very useful. So please ensure that you watch the very end of this video, like this video and leave your thoughts in the comment section. And perhaps you are watching this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel. What are you waiting for? Please hit on the subscribe button so that you can be a part of this beautiful community. Without further ado, let's dive into today's video. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is renting in South Africa. How affordable is it to rent in South Africa? There are actually different categories of buildings or houses you can actually rent. We have the apartments, we have the townhouses, and we have the standalone houses. Some of these houses are located inside a complex, some inside an estate, or some inside a complex, then inside an estate. Yeah, so we have actually different categories of these houses, and they all depend on affordability, what you can afford, your financial status, and all that. And there are two major platforms you can actually go to be able to check out some listings of houses, that are available for renter. One, it is the Property 24, and the second one is the Private Property. These are the two popular platforms that you can actually check out accommodations. You can go there and type in the suburb you are actually planning on moving to, and then it's going to bring out a list of available houses for renter. Most times those houses are actually available on the first day of every month. And if you are planning on renting, there is a percentage of income that you should be making in order to be able to, afford some houses. So wherever you want to rent actually depends on your income at the end of the day. And let's assume you are new into the country and you are looking at renting an apartment. You have to be sure of the suburb you want to live in, or the province you want to be. Do you want to be in Johannesburg? Do you want to be in Western Cape? Do you want to be in KZN? So you have to be very sure about wherever you want to be, and then you narrow it down to the suburb. For instance, if you want to live in Johannesburg, do you want to live in the Sandton area, or do you want to live in the Roodepoort area, or do you want to live in the Midrand area? Do you want to be in Johannesburg South, in Johannesburg North? And all that, you have to be sure of the particular suburb you want to live in. Then you go to this popular platform I actually mentioned, which is the Property 24 or the Private Property. When you type in the suburb you are looking at, there's also a filter option of you typing in the price range you're actually looking at renting for. Then it will actually bring out a list of available apartments that are available in that suburb and at a particular time that you are looking at moving in. The rental fee depends on the area you want to live in. If you are going to be living in the high-end area, then you'll be sure you'll be paying a high-end money. You'll be sure you'll be paying a high-end rent. But if you are going to be living in the middle income area, then you'll be sure that you can still find something that is quite affordable. Then another thing you should also know about renting is that you have to pay your rent monthly. Unlike countries like Nigeria, where maybe rents are paid annually, or here in South Africa, your rents are paid monthly. As a matter of fact, your rent is due the very first day of the new month. So you'll be required to pay your rent monthly in South Africa. Another bills you will be required to pay in South Africa is your utilities bills. Of course, you know that you have to pay for your water and electricity. And most times this depends on the kind of house that you are renting. For some houses, the electricity comes as prepaid, while for some it comes as postpaid. And for some houses, these bills are already included in the rental bill. Meanwhile, in other houses, you have to pay for that separately. And please note that in most cases, you are required to pay these bills on the first day of every month, except in situations whereby you have a special arrangement with your landlord or the leasing agent. Another point I'll be talking about is the price of food in South Africa. If you have been following my channel for some time, you would have seen that I've been uploading some groceries shopping videos on my YouTube channel, and most times I even show the prices of those groceries in the video. So that can actually give you a glimpse of what the cost of some food items are in South Africa. And the amount you might end up spending on food and groceries depends on your family size. Take, for instance, if you're a family of two, a family of three, or a family of four, it cannot be compared to a family of eight or a family of 10. So at the end of the day, the amount you end up spending on groceries monthly depends on your family size and how well your family members eat. But one thing I do personally is to buy my groceries in bulk. And if I've been following my grocery shopping videos, you would have noticed that I'm someone who buys in bulk. And one of the popular stores I go to in South Africa to buy my groceries in bulk is Macro. I go to Macro a lot and I do my shopping in bulk. And every other thing I need at the end of the day is just more like a top up groceries for the month. If you don't mind, you can actually look at doing your groceries in bulk. It's actually going to help you save a lot on grocery shopping. There are actually some popular food stores in South Africa that you can always go to for your grocery shopping. Like I earlier mentioned, I'm used to going to Macro whenever I need to do my bulk shopping. There's also these farmers markets I go to. If you live in Johannesburg, it is called the City Deep Market, or if you live in Pretoria, it is called the Tshwane Farmers Market. I usually go there to buy my tomatoes, my bell pepper, my onions, my spinach in bulk. And I do have a deep freezer where, I prepare all these stuffs and keep them there, and they actually last me for a period of time. It is better than having to go to the store every other day to buy little quantities of tomatoes or little quantities of bell pepper. So as much as you can, I would like to advise that you look into bulk shopping. And like I mentioned, the one of the stores I go to for my bulk shopping is Macro. But other than Macro, you have your Pick and Pay, you have the regular Pick and Pay store, and you have the Pick and Pay Hyper, you have the Checkers, the regular Checkers store, and you have the Checkers Hyper. You also have the Woolworths, popularly known as Woolies, and you have different stores like the Food Lovers Market store. I also have a video of the Food Lovers Market store on my YouTube channel. You can check that out so that you can have an idea of the things that they sell in some of these stores. So if you are new to the country and you are looking at doing your grocery shopping, you can actually check out all these stores. One thing you should also know is that most times these stores do a lot of promotions, otherwise known as sales. Yes, they do a lot of sales, so you have to check them out online. You have to check their online platforms like their Facebook pages to be able to know if they have an ongoing sales, so that you can, utilize that and save yourself the extra runs. At the end of the day, you'll be happy when you get to the store and you have to buy one and get one free. I mean, that's actually going to make you happy, right? Because at the end of the day, we are actually looking at, saving ourselves those, extra cash at the end of the day. While I was also talking, I talked about deep freezer, if you don't mind, and especially if you're a Nigerian like myself, that, we love to buy tomatoes and red pepper, spinach, all the proteins in bulk, you should actually look into getting a deep freezer. No matter how small it is, it will actually help you at the end of the day, so that by the time you're able to buy some crates of tomatoes in bulk, you know that they are not going to go to waste, because you know that with your deep freezer, they'll be properly preserved. Another expenses you are most likely to face in the Republic of South Africa is medical insurance, or otherwise known as medical aid. But this is totally optional. You might and you may not. You might and you may not. But if you desire to use the private hospitals, then it might be best that you have a medical insurance, so that whenever you get to see the doctor or any of the medical practitioners, you don't have to pay from your pocket. The medical aid will have to cover for that. And most times these medical aids are billed annually or they are billed monthly, depending on what options of medical aid you are into. But if you are not on any medical aid and you don't feel like using a private hospital, like I earlier mentioned in one of my videos, that South Africa has a lot of good hospitals, and if you don't have a medical insurance, you might have to, explore the public or the government hospitals. Another thing I would like to talk about is your internet expenses. It's so common that these days people use unlimited Wi-Fi in their houses, and you'll be required to pay that monthly, except if you don't want to use Wi-Fi, which is totally fine, and you just want to go about with your phone data, which is totally fine also. Another thing I would like to talk about is if you are a parent relocating to the Republic of South Africa and you have children that are still of school age, then be ready to pay school fees. And one thing you should know that in South Africa, school fees is also paid monthly. It is not paid by 10 or by section or annually. Okay, you can actually pay annually depending on the arrangements that you have with the school. If you are financially okay and you have the whole of the money to pay upfront, you can actually discuss that with your children's school and then you pay that. Otherwise, school fees are required to be paid monthly. As a matter of fact, it is also due on the very first day of every month. And in cases whereby you are not able to meet up, I actually don't know the consequences, but then school fees, rental bills, and utility bills are actually required to pay monthly and they are due on the very first day of the month. Now that we have talked about renting, we have talked about food, and we have talked about medical insurance, let's talk about clothing. At the end of the day, we should wear clothes, right? Yeah, we should all be dressed up. So if you're a parent watching this video and you have little children, and you have little children and you're perhaps wondering where you could get them some affordable clothing, there are actually quite a number of stores in South Africa that are actually affordable for your little one's clothing. You can check out Ackermans, you can check out Jet, you can check out Mr. Price clothing, you can check out Pep, you can check out Pick and Pay clothing. They actually have a lot of affordable clothing that can actually serve your little ones for a period of time. However, if you are concerned about branded clothes, you understand, like you want to wear these top branded clothes, you can actually walk into any mall and you'll be able to find these high-end stores there that actually sell most of these branded clothes. Another thing I would like to talk about is transportation. Perhaps you're relocating to South Africa and you don't have the immediate means to get yourself a car, like a personal car. Relax, don't be scared. I've got you. Yes, if you live in Johannesburg, like I earlier mentioned, that I have lived in Johannesburg for a number of years, so the bulk of my experience is about Johannesburg. But I want to believe that the same thing that happens in Johannesburg is also similar to what happens in other provinces. So if you are relocating to South Africa, specifically Johannesburg, and you don't have the immediate means to get yourself a car yet, there are taxis, there are options of taxis. But one thing I would advise, like I mentioned in my culture shock video, is that if you are not good in calculations, if you know that your mathematics is not matching, if you know that you have issues with addition and subtraction, please avoid the front seat of a South African public taxi. Otherwise, you will be the one to take the tea fare from every other passengers in that vehicle. You will calculate it. You will give balances where otherwise known as change. Like, you know what I'm talking about. You will be the one to give the balance of people who needs to collect their balance. You will give them their balance, then you will count the money and hand it over to the driver. So if you know you have issues with calculations, just respect yourself and don't sit in the front seat of a South African public taxi. So you can actually look into taking taxi, you can look into taking Uber, if you can afford it, you can look into taking boats. And another good thing is the train station here is very effective. Like you can take the out train station. You can just go on Google and look at the nearest train station to you and go there and join the train to wherever you might be going to. And if you are now ready, you have the means to buy a car. Congratulations. Once you buy your car, another thing you should also note is that it's common that every month in South Africa, the price of fuel either increases or decreases. So you might have to, take notes of that so that and use that in your favor. So any month that you know the price is going to go up, you have to rush to the engine garage and fill up your tank so that you can, reduce the amount you'll be spending on fuel in the coming months. So I hope you actually find this video very useful. If you do, please like this video, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Your thoughts can be a kind or a sweet comment to me, and your thoughts can be a question. If you have any question, please leave them in the comment section, and once I see them and I have the time, I will do well to answer you. And please share this video with your friends and family so that they can get to know about my channel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Please hit on that subscribe button so that you can be a part of this growing and beautiful community. Thank you once again for watching. Until I come your way next time again, remain blessed. Bye.